Zola, the ringleader of some mean girls, is seen punishing a junior student. My friend, will you get on your knees and raise your hands? This was happening under the scorching sun. The student was seen sweating all over her face because of the severe punishment meted on her by Senior Zola and a gang of bullies. Adamma is seen discussing with her mother. She was super excited that she got a scholarship into the most prestigious high school called Lighthouse International School. Her mother, Mrs. Ngozi, advised her daughter to take her studies seriously and not to mingle with friends that will mislead her. She nodded her head in agreement to all what her mother said, and she promised her mom that she would not disappoint her. Mrs. Ngozi was a widow who lost her husband some years ago, and she was presently between jobs just to feed herself and her daughter. She did all types of work to survive the hardship life melted on her and her only child, Adamma. As Adamma steps into the building of her new prestigious school, she was excited because it was only the children of the rich that were seen in the school because they could afford it. She is seen in class answering all the questions her teachers asked her during class activities. Her brightness and intelligence made her noticeable that after school, Zola and her gang approached her and offered to recruit her into their circle of gang. Since she seemed smart, she would be of help to all of them in terms of doing their homework and other school-related problems. And they told her that if she agrees that she will enjoy the perks that comes with hanging out with them, respect by teachers and other students and some other benefits. Adamma, in her quest to belong, agreed immediately, and as such, she started hanging out with Zola and her gang of bullies. They all went around the school tormenting all that were against them. Zola is seen disobeying her maths teacher, who asked her to do her own portion of manual labor instead of delegating the task to a junior student. Zola, in her own words, said, "Mr. Ade, I will not cut those grass. Do your worst. After all, it is my father that owns the school and pays your salary." She hissed as she walked away. Mr. Ade, in an angry state, gave her 15 lashes of the cane he was holding, not minding who her father was. On getting home, Zola starts shedding tears and reports the matter to her dad, Chief Owadike, who quickly calls the principal the next day and quickly asks for Mr. Ade's dismissal from the school. The news of Mr. Ade's sack was everywhere. It got to every ear in the school. This made other teachers afraid and to dread Zola so that she would not have them sacked, as the school paid their teachers heavily. Mrs. Ngozi, Adamma's mother, is seen in the school one day seeking for a cleaner job. After the interview, she got the job. In her excitement, when she got home, she tells her daughter the good news of getting a cleaning job in her school. But Adamma was not happy about the news. She could not stand the fact that her mother was an ordinary cleaner in her school. How will she cope? This will spoil her image. On a Tuesday morning, Mrs. Ngozi is seen doing her cleaning job in Zola's class. But Zola and her friends were throwing biscuit wrappers on the floor. Mrs. Ngozi just cleaned up that floor, and this upsets her and she tries to correct Zola and her friends. Zola stands up and shouts on her, "How dare you, a common cleaner, talk to me? Do you know who I am?" Immediately, Zola orders Adamma to empty the trash can all over the class to litter the place Mrs. Ngozi just cleaned up. As a loyal servant, she obeys, not minding that it was her mother she was hurting. Unknown to Zola and her friends that Mrs. Ngozi was Adamma's mother, because when Adamma came to the school in a bid to belong, she lied to Zola and her gang that her mother was a commissioner of health, that she is hardly around. At times, when Zola and her friends will insist on following her home to see the mansion she claims she lives in, she will pretend she will stop at a beautiful house and tell her friends that for security reasons they cannot come in that it is until her mother returns from her trip to Dubai. Before the close of school that day, Zola heightens the punishment. She goes to the principal's office and levies a heavy accusation that Mrs. Ngozi stole her money for lunch. After much investigation and witnesses, of which one of them was Adamma, who claimed to see Mrs. Ngozi take the money from Zola's bag when she came to class to clean. With tears in Mrs. Ngozi's eyes, she was dismissed from her job instantly. When Adamma got home that day, her mother called her and cried, "Adamma, so this is what you have become, choosing your friends over me, your mother. I know how hard I toil day and night just to give you a good life, and this is what I get in return." Adamma, feeling bad over what she has done, took a stroll down the street. On her way getting back, she did not know she was being followed by Zola, who saw her. On getting to the compound, Adamma entered. Zola saw that Mrs. Ngozi was actually Adamma's mother. In shame, Adamma ran into the house. The next day, Zola circulated the information that Adamma was living a fake life. She's a wannabe, that she's from a poor home. Even her mother was a common cleaner who got sacked recently. Encouraged, Adamma went to school the next day to clear the air. It was during assembly she took the courage to address all the students of what happened, how she had to tell all those lies in order to fit into the circle of friends she wanted. She apologized to everyone how mean she has been to them. She confessed that Mrs. Ngozi the cleaner was actually her mother, who was innocently dismissed from her job, that it was a plot by Zola and her gang of friends to punish her mother, that she did not actually steal the money from Zola's bag, that Zola lied. This gave a murmur in the crowd of students. Adamma was in tears as she spoke. Later, Zola had to step out, feeling bad over what she has done, hugged Adamma and apologized to all the students on how mean she has been to all of them, even the teachers and the ones she made to lose their job. Zola said that she was a spoiled brat and that she learned her lesson on how her lifestyle has caused pain in people's lives. That same day, when Zola got home, as a daddy's girl, she confessed to him all what she has done in the school so far, and as such, pleaded that daddy should reinstate Mr. Adedima's teacher back and to give Mrs. Ngozi a better position as she was a graduate. Zola, being a daddy's girl, Chief Wadike did not mind to do the daughter's bidding just to make her happy. Mrs. Ngozi is called into the principal's office with a letter apologizing that the investigation was wrong. She said, okay, no problem, but upon opening the letter, she saw that she was now given the position of the school bursar since she was a graduate of accounting. She gave a loud scream, Jesus, you do this one, you. Oh, you do this one, no. Thank you for staying tuned to this channel. Hope to see you in our next video upload. Until then, bye.